The original Night Stalker. A nickname given to him by the media, this unknown male was a brutal serial killer and rapist known for committing over 50 rapes and murdering 12 individuals from 1979 to 1986 in the northern and southern Californian region. Originally beginning as a burglar, the interloper preferred to target female victims alone at their homes. Later, he changed his liking towards couples. Breaking in and threatening them with a handgun, the male would tie them up with rope that he brought. Sometimes he'd have his victims tie themselves or each other up instead. A favored method of intimidation was for the intruder to go down to the kitchen, confiscate plates from a cupboard, and then stack them in the lap of a tied-up victim. He would then state if he heard the dishes rattle, they would be immediately executed. The stranger would then proceed to spend sometimes hours in the victims' homes as he tore through their belongings, ate their food, and made threatening gestures at the victims at seemingly random. The invading male was sometimes so quiet it was difficult for victims to know when he was finally gone. Starting in 1979, the original Night Stalker began to murder his victims. The first known victims were Dr. Robert Offerman and Dr. Deborah Alexandria Manning. Both were found killed via gunshot wounds inside of their condo. The murderer broke into a residence not far from the crime scene around the same night to steal a bicycle that was later found abandoned just north of the victim's condo. In 1980, two more murders were carried out on a couple, Charlene Smith and Lyman Smith. Charlene was also sexually assaulted. Both victims were struck by a log repeatedly that was stacked by their fireplace. It was here that the original Night Stalker began using a specialized Chinese knot known as a diamond knot to tie up his victims. This knot is an identifying feature in his future crimes. For the next 6 years, the original Night Stalker, now sometimes known as the Diamond Knot Killer or the Golden State Killer, broke into various homes with the intent of tying up victims and then killing them with a blunt object. Female victims were usually sexually assaulted prior to being murdered. 1986 marked the last known crime of the original Night Killer with the death of Janelle Lisa Cruz, who was found bludgeoned to death at her home in Irving, California. Letters and writings over these 6 years began to make themselves public, with the writer of these letters claiming to be the original Night Stalker. One of the first letters published was originally sent to the editor of the Sacramento Bee newspaper, a poem entitled Excitement's Crave. All those mortals surviving birth, upon facing maturity, take inventory of their worth to prevailing society. Choosing values becomes a task. Oneself must seek satisfaction. The selected route will unmask character when plans take action, accepting some work to perform at fixed pay but promise for more, is a recognized societal norm, as is decorum seeking lore. Achieving while others lifting should be cause for deserving fame. Leisure tempts excitement seeking, what's right and expected seems tame. Jesse James has been seen by all, and Son of Sam has an author. Others now feel temptation's call. Sacramento should make an offer to make a movie of my life that will pay for my planned exile. Just now I would like to add the wife of a mafia lord to my file. Your East Area rapist and deserving pest. See you in the press or on TV. A series of papers believed to be from the original Night Stalker were found not far from a crime scene in 1978 and then were later published. Comprised of 3 pages, the first was a short essay on General Custer. The second page is a journal entry titled Mad is the Word. In it, the writer describes being forced to write for hours at a time for 6th grade assignments in school as a youth, calling it dreadful and humiliating. The last paper was titled Punishment and appears to be a hand-drawn map of a suburban neighborhood. Law enforcement could not identify the area the map represented. It is theorized by police that the map is possibly the desired fantasy killing grounds for the original Night Stalker. In the course of investigation of the murders, several suspects were apprehended that were thought to be connected or were the original Night Stalker. These suspects were eliminated in thanks to DNA testing. Surviving victim testimony and sightings have identified several physical features and characteristics of the original Night Stalker. A white male who at the time of the committed crimes was between 26 to 30 years of age in good physical condition. He dressed well and drove an upscale vehicle. Police believe him to be highly intelligent and have knowledge of law enforcement investigation techniques and was an experienced thief. A psychological profile by Leslie D'Ambrosa of the original Night Stalker believes the unknown male to be arrogant, domineering, manipulative, and a chronic liar. The original Night Stalker was never apprehended, although some believe the suspect to have been possibly imprisoned or put on death row for unrelated crimes. Others believe he has escaped to a foreign country to continue his killings. On June 15, 2016, the FBI announced their plans to reopen the case of the original Night Stalker, along with a $50,000 reward for information leading to his capture and/or conviction. If the original Night Stalker is still alive, he would be between 60 to 75 years old. If you or anybody else has information regarding the original Night Stalker, please get in contact with your local police department. I will see you next time on Horrors, Freaks, and Creeps.